Hey everyone, Dragon Ball, as you may know, is my favorite franchise of all time. There have been over 19 theatrical films, 2 TV specials, and a handful of side stories here and there. I'm gonna review each one of them in 10 words or less, inspired by JelloApocalypse's Disney films reviewed in 10 words or less, though you guys may be more familiar with the format thanks to Totally Mark's videos like this. First, I'm gonna do the movies, then the specials, OVAs, and whatever else. Oh, also, I'm not including the movie recaps, or the end of the year special, or stuff like that. Anyways, let's go. Triumphant tale about village liberation, bogged down by story retread. Wish we got more about the demon world. Where's Dabra? Surprisingly makes a story about Chaozu interesting. Also cameos. Who thought expanding on God's story could be so good? Some of the best fighting choreography this side of Matrix. Mirror view of Goku is interesting, but not done well. A different Super Saiyan design. Neat. Next, I guess Goku can bring back life? Cool, I guess. Cooler was cooler in the last one. Next, groan. The villains don't even look cool this time. Listen up, Broly is lame. Yeah! Film's fine. Badass designs, great style, Tenshinhan, Satan, Orange Gi. Big fight. I'm the only one who likes this movie. Worst movie, best ending theme. But worst movie. Goten and Trunks are the best part of this film. Out of the way, Goku. Trying to see the real star. Wonderful reimagining with beautiful ending. Brought life right back into Dragon Ball. A mess of a film, but fun nonetheless. Somehow made Broly awesome. Thank you so much, Lord Shintani. Now, let's do the specials, OVAs, and stuff. The first 2 might surprise you that they even exist. Look both ways before crossing, Goku makes everything charming. If only real firefighters had magic staffs. Fantastic expansion on Goku's backstory. Kinda melodramatic. One instance where the anime is better than the manga. Drags forever, lame villain. Makes more sense as a game. Heartwarming, but pretty boring. Vegeta has a brother, best looking designs to date. Bit better, but not by much. Fan service at its worst. Now, I know you don't want to go back up and look through every score for each film, so here's my top 5. Number 5, World's Strongest. Funny thing is, I actually didn't like this movie at all when I was younger, but then I grew up and I realized just how awesome the animation, choreography, and voice acting was throughout the film. I think the plot point of somebody thinking that Master Roshi is the strongest person in the world just for Goku to come in and kick his butt is genius. It's a great callback to how Master Roshi used to be the strongest person. I do think the villains could have had a little more thought, but I do like Dr. Willow for what he is. Number 4, Fusion Reborn. This movie sure is a gem. Not many people know this, but this movie was in development before Vegito was even a thing in the manga. It was actually thanks to this movie and the fact that Gogeta was about to appear that Toriyama decided to create Vegito for the manga. But anyhow, the animation is super cool, especially when they're on Earth where they have the thick outline. And come on, who can hate on Goten and Trunks beating up Nazis? I think that's super great. Gogeta makes a flashy appearance after an awesome fight between Goku, Vegeta, and Janemba. I think it's all worthwhile, since Gogeta has had a lasting impact in the franchise. And add to that Janemba has one of the coolest fighting styles in the whole series. It just makes for an awesome film. But speaking of Gogeta, number 3, Dragon Ball Super Broly. This was an unexpected one for me. Honestly, I was completely against having Broly in another film. I thought that was really dumb. But then, we actually got to see it, and he is one of the best characters introduced in Dragon Ball Super in a long time. This version of Broly has some actual depth to him, and is a much more rounded character compared to the original one who was just screaming. Shintani brought us some awesome character designs, never before seen anything like this in the series. They allow for flashier animation and a lot more movement. This of course means that the movie looks gorgeous. The soundtrack is also really good. This was a surprise since I didn't like the soundtrack for Super at all. Surprisingly enough, it also reintroduced Gogeta into the franchise. And they made him even cooler with some awesome new powers. I just really hope that we continue this trend forward as we go on in Dragon Ball Super. When it comes back, of course. Number 2, Path to Power. For the longest time, Path to Power was my favorite Dragon Ball film. I think it captures the charm of the original manga perfectly, and it changes things up enough to make it interesting. The final Kamehameha is breathtaking. In fact, the movie just looks great. The GT designs are at full display here, and they look better than ever. One complaint I do have is that the music from GT, while beautiful, doesn't fit the ending of the film. Overall though, I think it's great. Number 1, Battle of Gods. Battle of Gods has been my favorite Dragon Ball film since it came out. Beerus has become such an integral part of the Dragon Ball world, it's as if he's always been there since the beginning. The mystery of the Super Saiyan God is intriguing as hell, and to see Goku in Super Saiyan 3 be defeated in the first few moments was a bold move, which really helps build up the antagonist as a menace. The comedy is really good, and the voice acting, in both English and Japanese, it's at its best. The music isn't great, but the insert songs, both Chala Hechala and Hero by Flow, sent chills down my spine. It is thanks to Battle of Gods that we still have Dragon Ball growing strong. Now, let's take a look at the 5 worst Dragon Ball films. And remember, I'm just looking at the films right now. Number 5, Curse of the Blood Rubies. You know, this movie's here just because it goes over things we've seen before. And not in a charming, let's do things a bit different and twist it up a notch things, but everything's the same. Everything it shows it's fine, but we've seen it all before. The problem with this film is that it's just so middle of the road that I can't say much about it. I like the film just fine, and the way to defeat the villain is really cool, but that's about it. I guess I can say the fight between Goku and Yamcha is really cool, but it is cool to see a villain story that's not just big villain attacks, but rather more of an adventure. Number 4, Return of Cooler. This movie is so boring. It starts off promising with them going to New Namek, but it ends up with the worst mindless fighting. Cooler is reduced to a soulless being and nothing more. I do gotta say that the shot where they see that there's millions of Coolers is really awesome, and the scene with Core Cooler is really neat too. Number 3, Lord Slug. Lord Slug is a pretty boring movie. The villain is just King Piccolo but lame, and the fighting isn't special. Sure, the different Super Saiyans cool, but nothing beyond that. One thing I will give it credit for is the use of giant Namekians and their weaknesses. That was awesome. Also, Chi-Chi kicks butt, so I can't be too mad. Number 2, Super Android 13. I hate this movie so much. The 3 androids have boring designs, dumb quirks, and are just lame overall. And when Android 13 absorbs the other 2, he turns into an even worse, boring one. The only cool parts are when the squad is shopping and the 3 Super Saiyans emerge. The Arctic being the place of fighting doesn't make for a very visually appealing arena, so it's just boring. Number 1, Bio Broly. This movie is god-awful. Somehow they made Broly even more boring. Sure, we get some fun Mr. Satan, Krillin, and 18 antics, but the rest is just dull. The Kamehameha with Krillin, Trunks, and Goten is really cool, but everything else is just boring. The film is like watching static, honestly. The soundtrack is good, but it's just a nothing film where nothing happens, and it gets resolved with nothing. Of course, just remember that these were my opinions. You probably have some very different ones than I do. I know a lot of people disagree with me about Broly in specific, but what can you do? That's the internet. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite Dragon Ball movies are. It's probably Broly, or maybe World's Strongest, or maybe you disagree with me completely and think that something like Turles' movie is the best one, Tree of Might. Then you would be probably insane. But yeah, leave your rankings, your favorite movies, anything you want in the comments down below, and I'll read as many as I can, reply to as many of you as I can, and let's start a discussion that way. Also, let me know if you like this kind of videos, because it was a lot of fun to make, and I kinda wanna make another one in the future. Be sure to join the Smug Squad by sharing and subscribing and clicking the bell icon so you know when I upload the next video. The Dragon Ball question of the week this week is, what superhero would you guys like to see team up with Goku? Leave it in the comments down below and start a discussion. Anyways, until we meet again. See ya!
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Smugstick, unless you want to be destroyed.
Lord Beerus, that's hardly fair. But also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when he uploads new videos.